Kia ora whānau. My name's Stacey. If we haven't met yet or if you haven't practiced with me before, haere mai, welcome. Today I'm just going to be running you through a really gentle, fairly short flow, focusing mainly on opening up through the lower back. It's perfect if you've had maybe a bit of lower back pain or you're just feeling like quite tight through the muscles here. I do want to preface that by saying that, of course, listen to your own body. You're the only one that really knows exactly how things are going to feel as you move through, and you're the only one that can really tell exactly when it might feel good to lean in a little bit more, and when it's really time to back off. So just, trust yourself, take it easy, and the best thing with yoga, especially for back pain, is just consistency. So it's better to do a small amount more often than not do anything for ages and then do 2 hours of yoga or something like that. So even if you can just do 5 to 10 minutes or maybe stick with this flow and do it 3 or 4 times a week, I think you'll really see some improvements. So kia ora, let's get started. I'm going to start today in a wide-legged child's pose or balasana. So just drawing the knees out wide, big toes to touch, and slowly peel your hands forward onto the mat, lowering the forehead down onto the mat here. And taking some time to tune into your breath. Allowing yourself to mentally arrive on the mat. Letting go of the events of the day. And letting go of any thoughts of what you need to do after practice. And just giving yourself the permission to be here, truly present on your mat for the next little while. Starting to tune into the sounds around you. And letting them go and drawing your focus inward. And tuning in to the sound of your own breath. And starting to take a little scan of your physical body. And without making any judgments, tuning in, seeing if there's any areas of tension or tightness. And just seeing if you can send the breath there. As you inhale, filling up through the belly and the chest. Pausing at the top of your inhale, and then exhale to slowly release out through the chest and out through the belly. Inhale together. Pause at the top of your inhale, and then exhale, slowly releasing every last little bit of air. Inhale. And exhale. One more round on your own. And on your next inhale, slowly lifting the head and walking the hands over towards the right. As you exhale, lower the head back down towards the mat. And breathing into that left side body. If this stretch isn't quite strong enough, you can place the left hand on top of the right just to deepen the stretch there. Breathing into the intercostal muscles all down the left hand side of the body. And inhale to lift the head. Walk the hands back through center and then all the way over towards the left. And exhale to lower down the forehead and breathing into the right hand side. Just like to say as well, if this child's pose is quite intense, you can always place a pillow or a bolster underneath your hips. And breathing into the right hand side of the body. And inhale to come back to center. Replace the hands. Lift the hips and draw the knees to about hip width distance apart, coming into our tabletop. Then run through a couple of cat-cows. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then exhale to tuck the tailbone, curling vertebrae by vertebrae. Doming up through the back of the shoulder blades. So moving with your breath here, inhale to drop the belly, lift the chest, and exhale to curl. And continuing with your own breath here. A few more rounds. Feel free to start to invite in any other little movements that might feel good. Just tuning into what your body's calling for today. Whatever you choose. Just moving slowly and mindfully. With your breath. And then when you're ready, coming back to center. I'm going to place the right hand into the center of the mat now. Inhale to sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale to thread it through. Inhale to sweep it up. And exhale to thread it through. This time as we come down, we're going to lower our left ear all the way down onto the mat. And if that feels good, maybe lifting that right arm up towards the sky, perhaps even bending it and resting it down behind you. Opening up into the back of the shoulder blades here. And if that top arm moved, just replacing it back down to the mat. On your next inhale, left arm sweeps all the way back up towards the ceiling. And exhale back down to the mat. Left hand to the center of the mat now. We're coming on to the other side. Inhale, right arm sweeps up high. Exhale to thread it through. Inhale, sweep it back up. And exhale to thread it through. And this time, right ear down on towards the mat. Maybe left hand stays where it is. Maybe if you like a little more juice, reaching it up behind you. Perhaps even reaching back for that right thigh. Breathing into the back of the shoulder blades here. placing that left hand. Inhale, right arm sweeps back up towards the sky. And exhale, hands come underneath shoulders. We're just going to bring that right leg out behind you and then sweep it all the way over towards the left, gazing over your left shoulder. Just coming into a little side body stretch here. And back to center. Left leg comes out behind you and sweeps all the way over towards the right, gazing over the right shoulder. And bring it back to center. Maybe rinse it through with a couple of cat-cows again. Just see how the spine's feeling after that movement. And then when you're ready, walking your hands slightly further forward, tucking your toes behind you and lifting your hips up into your first downward facing dog. Just take it nice and easy here. You might like to keep your knees really nice and bent. There's no pressure to flatten your feet down behind you. It's more important that your hips are lifting up towards the ceiling. So this is also known as mountain pose. So imagining that you're the mountain, the maunga, and your hips are the points. So as much of a bend in the knees as you need. Maybe it might even feel good to start pedaling out one leg at a time. Just options, just tuning into what your body's calling out for today. And checking in with your hands, checking your fingers are nice and wide, a nice strong grip through the fingers. And what's your breath doing? Coming back to your breath. Nice slow inhales in through the nose. And out through the nose. On your next inhale, lifting the heels, if they're not already, and slowly starting to tiptoe your feet up towards your hands. Take a nice juicy bend through the knees and then grab opposite elbows, allowing the spine to cascade down towards the mat. Maybe taking a little gentle rock from side to side, if that feels good. So what we want here is more of a decompression through the spine than too much of a stretch through the hamstrings. Obviously there will be a little stretch, but the more that you bend into your knees and allow your belly to rest on your thighs, you get that beautiful decompression through the spine. So just allow your head and your shoulders to hang heavy. Imagine your spine decompressing vertebrae by vertebrae as you bounce from side to side. And we're just going to really slowly start to stand up, but taking your time here. So keeping a bend in your knees, and slowly start to stack vertebrae upon vertebrae, with the head and the shoulders coming up last. Taking your time, feeling that opening through the spine all the way up to standing. And once you get there, reaching your arms up overhead, gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then exhale, we're going to come straight down with a straight spine. All the way back down. Again, obviously, have as much of a bend in the knees as you need. Grab onto opposite elbows again. Get a little bounce from side to side. And on your inhale, let's do that again, slowly stacking. Take a deep inhale, sweep those arms up overhead, gaze up towards the thumbs. And then exhale to hinge at the hips and slowly fall back down. grabbing opposite elbows one more time. One last little bounce here. And placing the hands on the shins. Lift your head halfway, gaze towards the front of the room. Inhale. And then exhale to plant the hands and step both feet back. Coming down into your tabletop once more, lowering the knees. Let's rinse that through with a couple of cat-cows. Inhale to open up through the chest. And exhale to curl. Just one more, rinsing it through. And then as you exhale, coming back to sit on your heels. You can choose any seat that's comfortable really. If this is a little uncomfortable, feel free to sit on a block or a cushion. We're just going to come into some side stretches. So on an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, gaze up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, lower the right hand down towards the mat, left arm sweeps up and over. If it's comfortable for your neck, gazing up towards that top hand. Inhale back through center. And exhale, left hand comes down, right arm sweeps up and over. Moving with your breath, inhale both arms up. And exhale, right hand down, left arm sweeps up and over. Inhale back to center. Left hand down, right arm up and over. And back to center. And hands through heart center. Placing your hands on the ground, we're just going to roll over to sit down. And coming into some seated stretches. So we'll draw the right foot in towards the left thigh. And take an inhale here. Draw the left hand as far down that left leg as comfortable. Maybe you want to grab for the foot, or maybe you just want to grab the ankle. Take an inhale as you sweep your right arm up and over. And then exhale as you stretch into the right side. So we want to be feeling this down the right hand side, maybe coming into the hip as well. It's beautiful for getting into the QL on this right side and the psoas. And how to come back up to center. Let's do a little counter pose, placing that right hand down behind you. Inhale to lift the hips up, sweep that left arm up and over. Let's take a little side body stretch. And exhale to come down. Switching the legs over. Right arm comes down the inside of that right leg with the palm facing up. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and over. And exhale to come into the stretch. That gaze is up towards the ceiling. And twist the chest open so that you feel the stretch down the left hand side. You don't want to be coming down like this. Up and over. One more breath here. And inhale to come back up. Left hand plants down behind you this time. Hips lift, right arm sweeps up and over. Take a little full body stretch. And then coming back to center, draw the legs out in front of you this time. And this is where it might come in handy to have a couple of pillows or cushions or a bolster. If you have a bolster, it would be amazing, but you can make do with anything. If you're a little inflexible in the hamstrings, I would recommend, if you've got a block, sitting up onto a block If you don't have a block, no stress. You can sit onto a cushion. If you've got a bolster, perhaps underneath the knees. Feel free to use as many props as you like to make it comfortable. You chuck some cushions here. Inhale to sweep the arms up, and then exhale to hinge forward. So we're going to feel this in our lower back, but also along our hamstrings. So this stretch should sort of come, move this way so that you can see. This stretch should really come all the way along the legs, up the spine, to the back of the head. Depending on your flexibility, in certain areas it might feel tighter than others. Some people are going to feel this more in their backs, some people more in their thighs. But yeah, just coming forward, really drawing your chest forward, coming forward until you feel a stretch. It's going to look really different for everybody. And then just breathing here. See if with every exhale you can soften a little bit deeper, surrendering into the pose. Two more breaths here, you can do it. Stay with it. See if you can find that softness, that easefulness, even in the intense poses. And on your next inhale, slowly starting to walk your hands in towards your body, removing the block and any props that you used. And we're just going to come down onto our backs, drawing our knees in towards our chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze, maybe rock from side to side if that feels good. We're almost there. We're just going to do a spinal twist, maybe a happy baby, and then Shavasana. So for your spinal twist, there's a couple of options I'm going to give you. If you're quite tight through your back and you're looking for something quite gentle, I would stick with both legs. So drawing your arms out either side of you, and then slowly lowering your knees over towards the right. Maybe if it's there for you, gaze over towards the left. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit deeper, you can try straightening through that right leg, and then gently guiding that left leg over towards the right, gazing over towards your left hand. Or whatever option you choose, just starting to really slow down your breath here, closing down your eyes if that feels good, and just breathing into the back. And wherever you are, engaging through the core and slowly drawing both knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. And then setting up for the other side. Slowly lowering the legs over towards the left and gazing over towards the right. On your next inhale, engaging through the core and drawing both knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And if it feels good, maybe coming into a happy baby. So you can either place your hands on the back of your thighs and just draw your knees in towards your armpits. Or if you're a little more flexy and you want something a little stronger, you can grab the outside edge of your feet or maybe your big toes and just draw your legs in towards your body. Super flattering pose, this one. But yeah, just find whatever feels good in your body. Like I said, grabbing onto the backs of the thighs, maybe the feet. And breathing into that compression in the hips. Maybe it feels good to rock from side to side. Maybe you might like to play with straightening out one leg at a time if that feels good. Just taking any little last minute movements or fidgets you feel you need before Shavasana. And then when you're ready, slowly uncurling yourself out onto your mat. If you've got quite a sore lower spine and you have a bolster handy or some cushions, you might like to place a bolster underneath your knees. It's just an option. No stress if not. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Allow the palms to face up towards the ceiling. Hands completely relaxed and curled up. Take up as much space as you need to feel completely comfortable. And allow your whole body to melt down into the floor. Knowing you are held by Papatua Nuku beneath you. Allow yourself to get really heavy. Allow your mind to relax, knowing that you don't have to think about anything for the next little while. And just focusing on your breath. Focus on relaxing and softening through your whole body. Relax through your feet, knees, your thighs. Relax. Your hips, your stomach, your chest. Relax. Your arms, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists. Relax. Fingers curled up towards the ceiling, completely relaxed. Soften the muscles of the face. Relax between the eyebrows. Allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. The shoulders soften down away from the ears. Your whole body relaxed and heavy. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. And feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you need. If you're coming with me, slowly starting to move into your fingers and toes, maybe reaching your arms up overhead and giving yourself a nice big stretch like you've just woken up. And draw the knees in towards the chest and slowly roll over to your preferred side. And take a moment here. And then keeping your eyes closed, slowly start to curl back up to a seat. Draw your hands in towards your chest and bow your head. Just taking a moment of gratitude for this practice. Moment of gratitude for our healthy bodies, for allowing us to move even if limited. And gratitude to yourself for taking the time out for this practice. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me.